Well, I'm going to make a video just the state of our New York State here. What's going on just doesn't seem like reality anymore. It just doesn't seem like we are even in reality. It's like some kind of cruel TV sitcom as to what's happening in this state. Between the crime, between the MTA board meetings, between the news media, it just doesn't seem real what's happening here. And we're going to talk about all that in this video, as well as go over the latest nonsense that happened in the LIRR committee meeting. And I'm going to make another video about it. Obviously, I have to talk about it again. And that is the first thing we're going to address here. Now I'm going to go back to the committee meeting here. I've got to find it. There we go. So this is the joint committee meeting that was held today, Metro North and LIRR committee. Now, I did speak. Unfortunately, as I've said before, they send me an email with a password, and then I go onto my phone, which has the Zoom and the camera, and I can use the camera. But when I went to log on through the Zoom, the password they gave me would not work. I tried it several times. I copied and pasted it, and it still wouldn't work. So for some reason, when I joined through my browser, it doesn't ask for a password, and I was able to get in that way. Funny how that happens, of course. But hey, that's they don't really want to hear from us. They are, it's all about Wall Street in New York. Yeah, you want proof? Here. Let's talk about out of touch. Here we go again. This is just CBS. Look, Governor Hochul making an important announcement about child care. Bad crime. She doesn't care about the crime going on. People getting robbed after they get hit by cars. She don't care about that. Churches getting robbed in the city. And then here we go. Busy week on Wall Street as inflation soars. So yeah, even CBS is gearing to a certain demographic. We're going to get to that later. So let's talk about this committee meeting here and some of the nonsense that occurred here.
As well as your screen for remote speakers and the warning light that you will see.
Of course,
blind copy of what I do.
Murray Bowden
purely for
is there. At least he's there in person. All right, but he did speak a little bit about climate change, but again, he doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Next was Jack Nirenberg, who actually, thank you, Jack, for speaking up for us here on the main line. I know he's having some connection issues, so we're going to play his speech.
The next speaker is Jack Nirenberg, followed by Christopher Grief.
Good morning. This is Jack Nirenberg, the Vice President of Community Outreach and Communications at Passengers United. If there's a better time for the public comment section, it would be at the very end of the meeting, because at least we'd be able to speak out on the record before mainline customers are being left in the dark. Again, when it's being shut down more frequently now and more frequently in any other branch. Where are the shuttle buses on the main line? The N22 and the N24 have proven to be unreliable over and over again, especially last time when they were diverted away from Carl Place and Westbury. Clearly, there's no coordination between the Long Island Road and Nice Bus whatsoever.
Yeah, there is none. There is none. Despite the railroad saying that there isn't any. And it's just obvious and yet another example of the discrimination we face.
And furthermore, if you know that the Hempstead branch where you're diverting all the mainline customers to is going to be significantly more crowded, why are you reducing service by half, from half hourly to hourly on the Hempstead branch?
And that's the other thing, is that normally when they do these shutdowns, the Hempstead branch is half hourly service with service to Penn Station. But now, for some reason, they're not doing that. They're only giving us the regular hourly Atlantic service because, again, they want everybody on the South Shore. That's where the Wall Street people live. That's where and that's where they want the people to patronize the businesses, patronize the towns. Whereas in the middle of the island, they just want to kill the middle of the island. That's what this is. That's what this entire project has been all about all along. That's what it seems like, anyway. I mean, we will have better train service in the end to show for it, but it's a lot of damage has been done in the middle of the island. And it's not the project is not the problem. It's the way they handled it, because they should have had a bus bridge, as I said in my speech, which you will hear, between Flora Park and Hicksville. That's what they should have done instead of sending everybody to the South Shore.
There's only going to
Now, this is where he has some connection
Makes
problems.
it extremely difficult for residents in these affected
He
communities.
might be riding a bus or
So
something.
many of these people rely on the road to get around.
Yep, exactly. Thanks, Jack. I know he's having some kind of connection issue there.
Extreme heat is miserable. And it's funny that the main line is the only branch that doesn't get shuttle buses.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
When it's shut down. Hempstead's getting shuttle buses next month. Why aren't they diverted to nice bus? Why is Long Beach not diverted to the N15 or Port Washington to the N23?
Exactly. Certain
Every
demographic,
branch
that's
except the main line gets shuttle buses. And it's unacceptable. It's been this way for way too long, and it needs to change. Thank you.
That was a great speech.
Christopher Grief.
We're not going to feature him. We're going to go, and then
government relations. Especially thanks goes to Hector Garcia as well. I know he's blushing, but
yes, Hector
one
does a
thing I'll
great
say
job.
is we are all here for a reason to make sure that our system is truly accessible. Thank you.
And he does speak up for accessibility. However, here in Mineola, you know we have issues with that. And then coming up, obviously, is Andy Kito, which you already heard in the other video. But we're going to play just a little bit of what he had to say. Just a little bit of it. And the fact that they let him speak again. I'm just, you see this guy on the left? He has control over the whole meeting. He can stop him from talking. That's me right there at the orange screen because, again, as I said before, I could not get in through the Zoom app on my phone. And my computer does not have a webcam. But anyway, they let him speak again. And they did not stop him. So it's obvious when you look at the people sitting here who they represent. They're there to represent the people on Wall Street. They're there to represent a certain demographic. Notice the complete lack of diversity here. Do you see anyone of color at all here? I don't. It's unbelievable. You know, you look at the New Jersey Transit Board, it's all diverse people, but no, not MTA. It's just another sign of the plan, as you know. So let's listen to what Andy Kito had to say here.
The next two remote speakers will be Andy Kito, followed by John Michno.
And we're not going to listen to everything he had to say because I don't want to play it over and over again because it just hurts like hell. It really does. And I know that's what he wants. He wants to make me cry. Well, he has made me cry, all right?
All right, it's my turn again. You guys can hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, good morning. My name is Andy Kito, and, I'm calling right now to see, I want to thank the MTA police for their current update on.
I notice how closely Kathy and Rinaldi's paying attention to what he's having to say. Isn't that very interesting?
On that person at Mineola Station. The name of the YouTube, it is more evident on the YouTube channel. There's more proof that there is a lot of disturbing things going on. I'll give you the YouTube channel, Find Power Alive. So
and they really sound like they're listening very closely to what he has to say.
I hope you guys can investigate, go much, much, much deeper into it and investigate. So let's start off with the Long Island Railroad.
And then he calls me out once, and then he calls me out again.
Not Americans. Guys are pricks. Why would you shut down service on September 11th? That's completely Passengers United, Riders Alliance. They care less. John Mitchell could care less.
Calls me out again.
But you're shutting down mainline service
Passengers
on that weekend.
Yeah, I don't care. This is what I've been talking about constantly. What are you talking about? I don't care about the main line. Oh, my God.
Why? People got to get to Newark. How are they going to connect from the main line to NJT? Yeah, I get it. It has to be done. The goal is to get done before Grand Central opens, and I'm everything for it. But you need to rearrange the schedules a little bit. My major events like VMAs and the anniversary of the 21st anniversary of the September 11 attacks. Okay, and finally, fix the connection. Whenever you guys do work on the Hempstead branch, fix the connection. Because there's a huge gap, like a half an hour gap. Once the Conklin train arrives at Jamaica, then you got to wait half an hour for the Atlantic train, the shuttle train between Jamaica and Atlantic. That's completely uncalled for. Fix the connection for the next time. But yeah, Thank you so much for letting me speak at this MTA board meeting, and I hope you guys can continue with this investigation because I'm really proud of it. So thank you so much for your time, and have a safe day, and God bless America, and get him arrested, John Mitchell.
Get him arrested. Get him. You're the one that should be arrested, man. He's
The next
one.
remote speaker is John Michno.
But this is intimidation. They want to make me scared. They're intimidating me. This is what it is. Andy Kito used to be on my side, but he has gotten some kind of money from Wall Street to do this, and it's probably quite a bit. Like I said, his brother works in Rockville Center, and they're getting some kind of compensation to do this. That's how Wall Street works. That's why you hardly see anyone call out Wall Street corruption like I do, because they know what's going to happen. But to me, this is a fight for survival. It's a fight for survival. So I'm going to play my speech again, which I think was also pretty good. And I do bring it up. That's the first thing I bring up is responding to this.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
okay. I hope you are all staying cool on this hot day. I am disgusted with the violation of the meeting rules and individuals spreading lies and slander against me the past few months. This is hardly professional, and you just allowed it again.
At least it sounds like Kathy's trying to pay attention here.
I guess you're going to have to get sued because I'm going to have to consult the lawyer. This is unacceptable.
Also, Gerard Bringmann looks back, and we're going to deal with him a little bit later.
We're also going through yet 5 more mainline shutdowns.
And
I understand the
And he
work.
goes, ooh, they did mute him. I mean, why was this mic still on? It's funny, when I'm done speaking, they mute my mic right away, but yet, I mean, it's obvious that he's got some friends in this organization. All right? Because why else would this be allowed to happen? Again, the guy on the left here, he monitors things. All right? He could have hit the mute button when he saw Andy Kito start saying that. And he could have interrupted saying there is no personal attacks that's not allowed here. But he didn't do anything.
Is an important part of the third track, but it really feels as if they're doing the most they can to inconvenience us in Mineola as possible. We still have no pedestrian crossings at Willis Avenue or Main Street. The lack of consideration has caused tremendous, irreversible damage to Mineola's economy. Many businesses have shuttered, never to return. We also do not feel safe here. Homeless continue to be a problem, and the MTAPD is never around.
And Gerard Bringmann is there, and he springs about MTAPD later, and you won't believe what he says.
The service plan that diverts people to the South Shore instead of a bus bridge between Floral Park and Hicksville is blatant discrimination against Nassau's mainline communities, and it's fairly obvious why it's happening. The last subject is on the M7 fleet. We cannot see out the windows. They're all fogged up. They should be replaced because it is a safety hazard. You are an integral part of my life. I cannot drive due to a mental disability. I rely on the LIRR tremendously. I chose where I live because of the LIRR and never imagined we'd be left stranded for so many weekends. We should not have to rely on Nice Bus since the buses are often missing and never show up on time, if at all. As we deal with more record heat, it's important we provide quality, reliable transportation for everyone moving away from wasteful private automobiles toward sustainable transit. The LIRR is a key part of that, but we also need a regional bus system run by the MTA to replace NICE, which has been anything but since it came into existence in 2012. Thank you.
So I will give Kathy Rinaldi credit. It sounds like she's really listening to the people here, but Kathy needs to do something about to make sure that these personal attacks stop.
The next 2 remote speakers are Rosalind Carter.
All right, so enough with the speakers here. And I know Charlton spoke, and I do Charlton credit. He did actually say spoke up for me. Thank you. And of course Lisa Daglian also spoke. And Lisa Daglian, as you know, is part of Riders Alliance. She's corrupt. She's on the PCAC. She shouldn't even be involved in this. That's a whole nother subject. The PCAC is very corrupt.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Lisa Dagley, and I'm the Executive Director of the Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee to the MTA, or PCAC. Welcome, Chairs Chu and Lopez. We look forward to working with you on behalf of Long Island Railroad and Metro North Riders.
Let's see what she has to say here.
These dog days of summer sure are busy. We want to recognize the incredible efforts of MTA workers who got trains and riders moving during and after last week's storms. It's a testament to them that Tuesday's morning commute was relatively hitchless. It's also a testament to the need for significant continuing investment in resiliency projects, but more on that in CPC. On July 16th, Metro North saw 102% of pre-pandemic ridership, while the Long Island Railroad hit 90%. That same day, traffic on bridges and tunnels reached over 101% of pre-pandemic levels. Clearly, there's ample opportunity to draw drivers from their cars into train cars.
More of just a statement.
All right, so now we're going to get to Gerard Bringmann here. Guess I'm not going to go. This guy is completely out of touch here. We'll get to him.
Team Arthur Fugner, Greg James, Michelle Matchek, and Ken Klein, as well as their folks for the unprecedented level of training in these very challenging times. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, so Gerard Bringmann is going to talk, and you won't believe what he says. He does talk about the crime, needing more MTA police patrol, but he doesn't really address the crime. He addresses masks and e-scooters. This guy is completely out of touch, and again, he represents the South Shore. I mean, it's so obvious, especially after I spoke about Mineola with the homeless and the panhandling. He doesn't even bring it up once.
Board Member Bringmann?
Actually, this isn't a question, it's more of just a statement. Unfortunately, I was unable to get a seat at the table for the safety meeting. It was brought up about the possibility of getting some more dedicated train patrols, or at least more of a police presence on the trains. And as you know, we're still under the mandate to have masks.
Yeah, that's what he talks about. Mask mandate. All right? That's what he talks about, all right? We're the only state in the whole country right now that has a mask mandate on public transportation. It has been lifted in every other state but New York. And yet this guy decides to make it a priority. Again, you cannot make this stuff up. We have crime on in the stations. We have people dealing with homelessness in our system, and people being harassed and panhandled for money. And this is what this guy talks about. Is this guy even in reality?
In mass transit. But compliance on the Long Island Railroad is probably about 50%.
Yeah, it's actually less than that, because people know that we don't need to wear masks anymore, all right? We're the only state in the whole country that has a mask mandate on public transportation, right? New Jersey doesn't. Connecticut doesn't. If you want to protect yourself, you can choose to wear a mask. That should be a personal choice. You know, and my personal choice is if the train is crowded or the bus is crowded, I'm going to wear a mask, mandate or not. All right? But if it's empty and there's no one sitting within 6 feet of me, especially in this heat, what is wrong with this guy? How would you like to be in 95-degree heat, have your mask on, get on the train, and can't feel the cool air against your face? I mean, what planet is this guy on?
If we're lucky, I don't know if it's similar up on Metro North. I would say it's probably maybe a little better than that on the subways, but still, we need some, if we want to keep people to wearing masks on the train, we need to have compliance, and the only way we're going to have compliance is by enforcement, and we're not.
He wants enforcement.
Going to have enforcement unless we have manpower on the trains.
You want manpower devoted to people wearing masks. What is wrong with this guy? He's just like the governor. He's just like Governor Hochul. What is going on in this state? This is not This is like some kind of twisted sitcom, some kind of TV show. We have all these serious problems with crime going on, and here you have somebody talking about people not wearing masks.
The another concern that was brought up at the public comments is there is a concern from ridership about motorized personal transit.
Yeah, again, people complaining about the e-scooters. I understand that, but that's not a priority right now. We have crime going on. You know, people being attacked, robbed, homeless people harassing them, homeless people living in train stations, defecating there, dumping their trash there. But no, he's not going to talk about that. He lives in Patchogue. He's on the South Shore. He's in his little enclave. He's not in reality.
Some of these things are ridiculous. I got a photograph from one of our council members over the weekend. This thing was like the size of a full-size Harley, and they were trying to get it on a train. That thing fell over on somebody. It could break somebody's leg. I'm not kidding. I I know the MTA is working on a policy going forward, and actually, Pat Warren had some conversations with us recently, so we were able to give some input. At the very least, we'd like to see some of these larger, or definitely the motorized things, permitted. Not permitted, but forced to have a permit, so that someone from MTA looks at it and says, yeah, that's okay to come on our trains, or no, that's not okay to come on our trains.
It should be required. But, you know, I mean, that's not a priority
we
right
would
now.
need someone to actually do the
much worse
physical
things
enforcement.
going on than this.
And
much worse.
when and if we do get the dedicated train patrols, we do need them to patrol. On the instances where I have seen police officers on the train, usually they'll come into one car and they'll stay there for the ride. We need them to walk through the cars. That benefits the riders who want to be mask compliant, and it also benefits.
Oh, here we go again. Again with the masks. You want them to enforce the masks. We've got so many more serious. What is wrong with this guy? Seriously, what is wrong with? I'm the one who has mental illness. I think this guy has mental illness. What kind of reality is this guy living in? I mean, it's unbelievable in New York State. It is really unbelievable what is going on in this state right now. It's a mockery.
Vinny's people gives them a little sense of safety. And that's it. Thank you.
So that's enough for this board meeting. I mean, I'm just disgusted here.
Board Member Mack?
Thank you. You're echoing what I've been talking about. We have to separate and not depend upon other agencies to enforce our rules and regulations. We need to hire more police officers.
I'm not against that. I think they do need to hire more police officers, but it's not the police's job to make sure people have masks on. All right, this is we're the only state left. We're the only state in the country, I believe. You know, you can go to New Jersey, you can go to Connecticut, and most of the states you don't have to wear a mask on public transportation unless you want to. If you want to wear a mask, nobody's stopping you, but it should be your choice. But these people don't want to let the power go, just like Governor Hochul. They don't want to let the power go. So next, we're going to look again at some of the news going on in the city because it's some pretty crazy stuff that's been going on. Robberies in the city. Of course, I don't know why it's not on the CBS. CBS usually does a good job with their TV station, but for whatever reason, their website really doesn't have a whole lot of crime. So we'll go to NBC New York here. And there was... this is what is crazy here. Somebody was hit by a car and mugged.
Story developing tonight, a hit-and-run robbery in the middle of a street. A car hits a man, and then the people in that car jump out and rob the victim twice. And we do want to warn you, the video here is difficult to watch. The car seems to swerve before hitting the man who was walking in an intersection in the Bronx. And then as that victim lays motionless, the crooks victimize him again. Now police are looking for anyone. So a hit and
run and a robbery in New York City. Yeah, that's right. That's what it's come down to. That's what it's come down to. And then a church was robbed in New York City too. That's right. Let's go to 1010 Wins because they seem to have the best coverage of this stuff. 1010 Wins. Why is... tell you, I don't know. One injured. All right, let's see what we got here. Teen in custody, fatal stabbing in Brooklyn. Shoplifter at Long Island Target gets violent and combative. Well, this happened at the Target in Westbury. I'm sure we won't hear a peep about it on Channel 12. All right, another crime. Suspect arrested in stabbing. Video, a Jeep drove off, left running in Brooklyn parking lot. So a suspect drove off with a Jeep left running. And then there was a robbery at a church in the city. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. Man touched more subway attacks. Drunk man stabs passenger on 6 train. Suspect at large. There's been a lot of crime on the subway here. 5 people injured in overnight shootings. Woman attack, rope in subway station. Another attack here on the subway here. Subways are very dangerous in the city, all right? Let's worry about people not wearing masks. Those are the real people we got to worry about. One injured in Queens shooting. Long Island man arrested for robbing. That's a couple of days ago. We're trying to find the one where, of course, they don't have it. Canarsie robbery. Let's see. We know it was in here somewhere. Canarsie Church robbed at gunpoint. Yes, a church was robbed at gunpoint.
New tonight, a bishop during a live.
That's right. They were live streaming a church. So no place is sacred. No place is sacred from the crime in the city. Except maybe the enclaves, whatever few enclaves are left in the city. There aren't that many left. Most of them have come to the suburbs and, of course, the South Shore area. All right? So you have all this going on in New York State. All right? All this crazy stuff going on, the crime and all this stuff. All right? And then let's go to Governor Hochul's Facebook and see what Governor Hochul is talking about. Let's see what she's talking about. Child care. Or she's talking about the weather a little bit. Nothing about the crime. Not a thing about the crime. Democratic convention. Nothing about the crime. She doesn't care about the crime. What about Eric Adams? What about Mayor Eric Adams from New York City? Is he talking about the crime at all? Join us in Manhattan for an announcement. Probably has nothing to do with crime. Nope, that doesn't have to do with crime either. Nope, he doesn't care about crime. He doesn't care about the crime. So you have all the craziness going on. It's like there's chaos going all around them, and they're just like in their own world. Just like the governor, just like a certain demographic. They're all in their own damn world. And so I leave you. The last thing we're gonna show you here is this. Comments. Yes. This is Long Island, folks. An explosive idea to deal with sharks. And of course they're from Patchogue, Gerard Bringmann's town. So again, certain demographic. As someone who spent years growing up and swimming at the beaches on Fire Island, it's disheartening to see the problem with the sharks. This was in Newsday. Yeah, they published this. Why not have the Coast Guard and our police fly helicopters and even use drones over the waters to look for sharks to do this? If sharks are spotted, then an explosive device can be dropped between the shore and the shark. The intent is not to kill the sharks, but to scare them away. Yeah, an explosive device. That's going to kill a lot of fish in the area. What is this guy on? Seriously. This is what we have in New York. You have these arrogant people. They're out of touch, but they have all the control. It's unbelievable. And we know it's all part of the plan to drive us out. Yeah. It's all part of the plan to drive us out. Shut up and go live in New Jersey. Shut up and go live in New Jersey. That's the message I keep hearing time and time again. But let me just tell you this. All right? Let's go to the weather right now. We'll show you how damn hot it is in New Jersey. All right? Because I'm sure it's like nearly 100 there right now. Oh, yeah, let's look at Tom's River. All right, so it's in the low 90s right now. Or actually mid-90s. I see 95, all right? So you ask me, how am I going to survive in that heat? I'm dying here in Mineola from the heat, all right? And it's cooler in Mineola. We have mid-80s right now. How am I going to survive in Tom's River? How am I going to survive the heat there? I have to choose between dying of heartbreak, dying of the crime, possibly getting hurt, shot, or killed by all these criminals on the streets. All right? Not being allowed to live somewhere safe. Well, you know, Mineola, I'm not saying Mineola is like that now, but Mineola is on its way down. It's becoming Jamaica 2.0. The whole middle of the island is. And it's all part of the plan to price us out. And, you know, if the right things are going, it will become dangerous. And then the only safe places on the South Shore, like Rockville Center, Lynbrook, Merrick, Belmore, and you know, this whole area here. Well, sorry, you're not going to be allowed to live there. That's only for a certain demographic. You're not white. You don't work on Wall Street. We're going to make sure you're going to check your background. No programs allowed. You know, all of that stuff. All right. And even the towns that are doing well in the middle of the island, like Farmingdale, well, you're not allowed to live there either because, again, certain demographics. So, all right. So I have to choose between that or having to go live in New Jersey, not have a train anymore because there are no trains in Toms River. There are buses. It's going to be hot as hell. I'm going to survive here, but it just feels like it's where I'm going to wind up if this kind of crap continues. It just seems like it's a futile battle. That's why I don't want to think of the plan. That's why I don't want to think of the plan, because every time I think about the plan, I want to cry. And what I saw today make me want to cry all over again. I can't believe what's happening in this state. I just can't believe what's happening. And I just hope and pray somehow a miracle can happen and Lee Zeldin can win the election. All right? He's our only... I mean, look, I'm not in love with the guy, all right? But he's the only slight chance I have to... I don't know how I'm going to survive 4 years of Hochul with the crime. I'm going to do it. The corruption, the crime, the dysfunction is only going to get worse. And who knows about the Pine Barrens, what's going to happen with them. Because, they don't care about the Pine Barrens. Jersey loves their Pine Barrens, but not New York, though. Sorry. You've been priced out. We priced you out. That's right. We priced you out. So you're going to have to shut up and go live in here. Go live in Toms River. Guess all my doctors would have to be out of here. But it just feels like it's a futile battle. It just feels like I have that gut instinct deep in the bottom of my heart that I'm not going to be able to stay here. And I'm going to be forced to live in Toms River. Whether I like it or not. Because the plan does not care about my feelings. The plan does not care whether I can take the heat or not. The plan wants to force us out. And they're winning. They are winning. And we are losing. And it just feels like an eventuality that I'm going to have to call this place my home. And it may be a lot sooner than I'd like. But I'm praying for a miracle, and I'm praying it doesn't happen. But again, the crime is really scary. The dysfunction is really scary. And I don't know how I can survive in Toms River, but I just don't see any other. I don't see any other place once I'm out of New York. Once Mineola's ruined, I don't see any other place I can go to on Long Island. I'm not going to be allowed on the South Shore, and the only other places are going to be problem neighborhoods, and I'm not going to go through a move and deal with another problem neighborhood again. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching, and pray for New York. That's all I got to say. I can't believe what is going on in this state right now. Yeah, like I said before, it's just a mockery. Whereas New Jersey lives in reality. New Jersey, the governor of New Jersey cares about the Pine Barrens. He cares about everybody. He's not obsessed with the pandemic. If we go to Phil Murphy, let's go to Phil Murphy here. He's talking about electric vehicles. He's talking about the heat. He's talking about somebody passing. He supports the police, too. See, he supports the police. You never see Governor Hochul with the police. He supports the police. All right? It just seems like this is where I'm going to wind up. It just seems like an eventuality. No matter how much I spin my wheels, but the instinct is just to keep spinning my wheels, try to stay on Long Island. But we are fighting a losing battle. But it's not going to stop me from fighting. That's it. Thank you for watching.